Hey everybody, welcome into Tuesday. It is that time again, Tuesday Tips for Parents. The name of our segment for today is That's Not Fair. How many times do you hear from your child, that's not fair? It's not fair. The rules aren't fair. They didn't play fair. Well, all of us want to be treated fairly. And most of the time, if somebody acknowledges to even us that we want to be fair, we want to see how it can be fair, I want to be fair to you, I want you to be treated fairly, it generally will calm us down. Well, children are no different, especially in that 7 to 9-year-old age group. But it bleeds over. Your 5 to 6-year-olds can enter that phase a little bit early. Sometimes the 9-year-olds come out of it a little bit late. And then especially your teenagers, because they don't always want to take the responsibility for what they know they're supposed to do. It's not fair when they don't get to do something that they want to do, even though they knew what the rules were. So, how do we deal with that? How do we make that better for us as a parent and for them as a child? Well, we simply acknowledge. It seems like you don't think that's fair. Even if they haven't said the word, that's not fair. We just say, it seems like you think that something about this is not fair. It seems like you think that you are not being treated fairly. I hear you saying, that's not fair. Okay, just acknowledge it. Even though they may have just said it, just simply acknowledge that you don't think you're being treated very fair. You don't think the rules are fair. They're going to say, that's right. Or, yes, that's not fair. Something to that. That's fine. You've acknowledged it. They have said, yes, that's right. Then just simply say, let's back up. Let's back up to the point where you think it was not fair. Let's back up and you tell me at what point you think that I was not being fair. At what point do you think that the game rules became unfair to you? At what point do you think it was not fair for me to tell you that you don't get your 1 hour of video game time this week, and then let them tell you, because it could be a multitude of different things, and just listen. So if it's with a teenager who was supposed to be getting some time to drive the car or play the video games or whatever, hopefully you all have had an opportunity to watch our segment on teens and tweens and how to do that behavior contract, or even if they just knew that the rules were, you have to take out the trash, you have to sweep, you have to do this, you have to finish your homework, whatever the rule is in order to get this as a reward. Well, if that's the rule and they didn't follow the rule, you are going to force them into the point of thinking through that, because they're going to have to tell you what they think is not fair about it. At what point did you become the one that was being unfair? If, it's not fair that they have to eat vegetables with their dinner. It's okay, let's back up. Tell me at what point you think I'm not being fair to you. Well, because you're making me eat, green beans for dinner. Then we can ask, do you think that your life would be healthy and you can continue to do all the good, fun things that you want to do if you don't ever eat anything healthy? Now, we would hope they would answer no, but they're going to say, well, yes, of course I can. And we're going to say, okay, then let's talk about healthy. Let's talk about all the things that you will be able to do if you eat some healthy stuff versus if you don't eat healthy stuff. And you can simply talk about how much they're going to be more sick, they're going to be more tired, they're going to be all these things if they don't eat some healthy stuff. So you can help them to see where you're going with it, why it is fair, why you are being fair, and that you're treating them fairly You are acknowledging that you're trying to treat them as fair as possible, that you didn't make them carrots because you know they hate carrots, but they typically like green beans, so you made green beans. And it can go with anything. The dodgeball game. Well, that's not fair. Let's back up. I see that you think something is not fair about the game. Let's see what you think is not fair about it. And have a conversation about it. Now, with different age kids, the younger they are, sometimes the more they go off in different directions, the more unrealistic it can seem to you. But that's okay. Remember that age group. Go back, try to remember, what is their comprehension like at that age point? Where are they coming from? And try to just simply ask enough questions that they finally are able to see that there's really nothing unfair about it. And that you at least acknowledged that they felt like they were being treated unfairly. Just acknowledging it is going to cause the shoulders to come down and the stress level just a little bit. But once you start having the conversation, it will come down much more than you would anticipate just by addressing it and just by having the conversation about it. Again, this is nothing huge for any parent who's going through it, but it can just be the reminder that as parents, if we are engaging in daily life, we want to be treated fairly too. And we really appreciate when somebody just says, I want it to be fair to you. I don't want to be unfair. Whatever the wording may be that they're using, we appreciate the fact that they acknowledge it. And it just makes us feel good. We want our children to feel the same way. Even if it seems silly to us, keep in mind, the color of crayon they got to use could be just as important to them as a promotion at work to you. It's just the perception of life, and that comes with the age and the responsibilities. So remember, things that seem very trivial and unimportant to us can seem very fair or unfair to them, and they're very important. So let's just simply acknowledge those and help them to all have a better day. Again, I really hope that this has been helpful for you. Again, it's nothing earth-shattering. It's just a simple reminder for all of us parents to help each other be that village, just to step back and listen to our kids. Please, for those of you who are in Alamance County, please do be safe today. The weather is getting a little bit nasty outside. And please also send us any information that you would like for us to do a segment on, or if you have any particular questions or suggestions for us. You can call or text 336-270-6825, or you can give us an email at skillsforkids, SKILLZ, the number 4, kids, KIDZ, @outlook.com. Thank you and have a great rest of your week.